Flakes on a date. What do you do? We're going to talk about what you should do or not do, mainly what you should not do if he flakes on a date. And flaking on a date could have different forms, right? It could be that he lets you know he can't come, but it's too late notice and you're already at the place that you were supposed to meet. Or it could be that he just literally stands you up, right? And anything in between. Or yeah, I guess those are the two. So if a guy flakes on a date, and usually, when you know someone and you're already dating them a little bit, you already know their style. So if a man is flaking on a date that you know well, and it happens once, like randomly, give the guy a break, okay? But we're talking more today about men who you meet, for example, on the apps, and you have a plan, you have a date planned. Usually it's like a coffee date or a meet and greet, but sometimes it could be like dinner or whatever, like depending on how quickly you like to move and what you are open to doing on a first date. Hi, Carrie and Tammy on Instagram. Say hi on YouTube as well and on Facebook. Um, so what do you do if he flakes on a date? Would you normally text him and be like, "Where the bleep are you?" Maybe, right? But don't over text. You can just be like, "Hey, John, what's going on? We had a date," right? And if you get no answer, that is your answer. There are so many of you that need closure, but that is your closure. A man not answering you after you've been communicating with him is the answer. So that needs to be your closure. You cannot force a man to communicate with you who's not going to communicate with you. And it only causes pain for you. It only causes heartache and irritation, and it allows you to get into that I hate men um you know kind of way of being. But also it allows you to, when if you have any doubts about you being able to find love, it'll allow you to feed that doubt. See, all men are blah blah blah. See, this guy flaked, so there you go. I'm not meant to have a relationship. All the stories. So make it as least amount of emotional that you can make it. Don't make it this roller coaster like, oh, he's such an asshole. And, or then the next guy that you're on a date with, you're so excited, or you're so mad at him. Like, the fact that you are going on a date with this man should be a neutral thing. Like, cool, I'm going on a date. I'm waiting for him at this date. And oh, okay, it looks like he's not showing up. Cool. Okay. What can I do now? Where can I go? Can I take myself out on a date? Um, can I do something fun? So it needs to be a little bit more neutral. And this is what we talk about in Queen School. And that's what I support with, is to create this feeling of abundance, right? This is why I call one of the methods I teach is called abundance dating, because okay, some men come, some men go, the good ones will stand out and many of them will just fall away. And you will experience men flaking on dates. It will happen. I actually had a man, this was a big lesson. I actually had a man um, really convince me to meet him somewhere pretty far from me. And my policy was always to only travel about 10 minutes by car, or, like actually never by public transport. I would always make them come to me. And if that wasn't okay with them, then we weren't a good match. So I actually I had a car then. So I agreed to meet him. It was about 30 minutes away. Now I live in a big city, and that's like just still within the city, right? Just with traffic and everything. So I thought, oh, no worries. And he told me where to meet him. We were going to meet literally like on a street corner. It sounds sketchy. We were going to meet on a street corner, but it was like in a really nice area. And then we were going to walk on the strip and like find a coffee shop together. Cool. So I got to the street corner and I sat on a bench and I look up and kitty corner from me, I saw a man standing under an awning of a bank, and he looked at me too, and I think it was him. And I was not about to get up and go and be like, "Is this you? Is this you?" I messaged him. I was like, "Hey, I'm sitting here on this bench. Is that you?" I heard nothing. I heard nothing. I look up and he's gone. He's gone. He flaked on me. He saw me and didn't want to go on a date with me. So later he messaged me and he's like, "Oh, I was there. I was waiting for a long time and I never saw you. And I didn't get your message until now." And whatever bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. Right. And I didn't even answer him. I was like, "Okay, cool, whatever. You do you." He didn't wanna go on a date with me. He saw me, he didn't wanna go on a date with me. I think he was a little bit pissed that I didn't go looking for him and asking if that was him. Whatever. That's a beta man who can't, can't lead. I didn't care, but it was a big lesson because I overrode my own rule of having men come to me, and if they are not willing to come to me, then we're not a good match. So I overrode my rule and I could have been so pissed off at him, so pissed off that he didn't make the effort and I came all the way. But you know what? It was my own fault for overstepping my own boundary. And look how it turned out. He didn't have even have the decency to come and say hi. So leave it alone. Don't text him. If you get no answer after the first contact, it could be that he completely forgot, which is like stupid anyway. But he might be like, "Oh my gosh, I totally forgot," or "Oh my gosh, I dropped my phone in the toilet," or whatever it is. Give him a chance. But if he does not answer, leave him alone. Completely turn your energy to something else, hopefully other men in your funnel, which by now, if you've been watching me at all for any length of time, you know that I expect you to have multiple men on the go while you're dating at a time, because this is the way to go to compress the timeline and not waste your energy on these kinds of guys, right? You'll have a lot of men in the pipelines, so it doesn't really matter if one flakes on you. So if he does answer and he tells you why he tells you a reason, okay? Reasons are excuses always. But he tells you a reason. Like my grandma died, my dog died, I got in a car accident. Even these big things, okay? I sound really callous and cold, but these big things are there. They happen because they're meant to evoke guilt in you. Don't let it happen. If something shitty happened to him, okay, cool. Like you don't even know him. Sorry this happened to you. Like you can have that energy, but you don't have to overcompensate ever. Okay? You don't even know the guy. So if he says something like I ran out of gas or whatever, I mean there's hardly any excuse that doesn't allow someone to let you know ahead of time. But if there is one really good excuse, you just say, "Okay, thank you for telling me." That is it. You don't try to make him feel better. You don't overcompensate. You don't make up for his lack of coming towards you by coming towards him and rearranging the date and you taking over with the leadership. You just say, "Okay, thank you for telling me." You can even say, "Hope everything's okay," whatever. You can be kind, but allow him the space to make it up to you. If that doesn't come naturally, that's your answer. Okay. That's your answer. A man should go out overboard and over and above to make something like that up to you. If he is truly still interested in a date with you and the reason he didn't show up is something valid. So he gets to make up for it. You have to do nothing. You should have to make no effort to rearrange this date. Does that make sense? And thirdly, value yourself more than men value you right now. What do I mean by that? Value yourself by showing up in these instances like a queen. Don't be angry. I mean, you can be angry, but don't be angry towards him. Don't berate him. And certainly don't school him by telling him what he did wrong and what he should have done and what he should do next time, and how how it was you were done wrong by, and all of this. He knows, and if he doesn't know, he is completely not worth even having a conversation with him. So be the queen that you want to be in a relationship. Be the queen that you want to be treated as in a relationship. And those kinds of men that flake out and don't make up for it and don't, make the effort will fall away. So the way you respond to this kind of um, situation is more important than the situation yourself itself. The way you respond is more important than the situation itself. Why? Because you're teaching your nervous system and you're teaching the universe how you want to be treated and how you have queen energy, and you are able to manage these kinds of things with ease and flow. And it might be a little nuisance and annoying, but it's really um it rolls off your back. You're good to go. Someone stands you up on a date and you take yourself out on a date, or you call a girlfriend who's on hot standby. No big deal. He was obviously not meant to be anyway. So, how you respond is more important than the actual sort of wrongdoing that was done to you, if you want to have a victim mentality about it, in these situations. Okay, so you treat yourself better than all the men around you are treating you, and that's when you will up level to the men who will treat you well, because you're already treating yourself well, and you're already in queen energy, in really high vibe, mature, you've got yourself kind of energy. All right. So I will leave that there. Comment below if you've had someone flake and tell me the story. I would love to hear, and comment here as well on all the platforms. And I will see you next time. Bye.